When it comes to tomato seedlings, when they start to turn purple, it means like it lacks phosphorus and other nutrients. Um, I'm going to plant these today. They'll be fine. Like ideal, I would rather these be bigger than what they are before I planted them. But, I mean, they're fine. The ones I up potted are a lot larger than these are. And these are healthy. Ideal, I would rather plant those, but these will do fine once I get them in the ground. So when it comes to planting tomatoes, don't be afraid to plant them deep. The deeper you can get them, the better it is for them. Tomatoes are able to grow roots all the way up the stem. So you can pinch off all these little leaves underneath it and plant it all the way to the top. Also, one thing I like to do is add oyster shells for calcium. Tomatoes need calcium, just like people. Um, with calcium deficiencies in tomatoes, it causes like rot on the tomato plant or the tomatoes itself. So by adding eggshells and oyster shells, it helps prevent that. It doesn't mean that I won't get any calcium deficiencies in any of my tomatoes, but it helps to prevent it. So I plant my tomatoes in the same spots every year. I'm in my garden soil in my raised bed, so I'm able to do that. I just add the things I know that they need. Like the tomatoes this year may not benefit from the calcium from these oyster shells this year, but they will the following years. So if I continue to do this every year, it helps build my soil. Some people also bury tums with their tomato plants when they plant them. Helps do the same thing. Things like eggshells or oyster shells or whatever takes longer to decompose, so keep that in mind. I have a ton of tomatoes to plant. I'm definitely not going to get them all done today. I'm also planting my tomato plants 18 inches apart. If that seems like it's close together, it's because it is. I prune my tomato plants to 1 or 2 stems, so it allows for airflow and it doesn't like overblow bush out. This bed right here is 5 feet wide and 21 foot long. I have 12 tomato plants planted along the fence line. I planted 7 Mr. Stripies and 5 green zebras. And these right here were started at the same time as the other ones. The difference is pot and soil. Nowadays, pot and soil, like the quality has gone downhill. Sometimes you get good pot and soil, and then a lot of times it's full of bark. So this pot and soil was a lot better, so they look a lot prettier. These are my pink Brandywine and my Golden Queen. So let's get these planted. I only have enough room for 8 tomatoes in this bed. I have 16. So from these tomato plants being like so full where they were, like I said before with the little hairs on the tomato plants, these have already started to grow roots on the side. And that's one of the reasons why planting them deep is so good for them. They're able to, the more roots a plant has, the more water and nutrients they're able to take up. So the healthier the plant will be in the long run. Watermelon beefsteak is also a Brandywine. Um, Brandywines have like potato leaves. They're really wide leaves, and while other tomatoes have smaller and pointy. These aren't doing great. Not as good as the Golden Queen and the pink Brandywine. But let's get those planted too. So with tomatoes, I have 2 growing here. You can just tease some apart like that to separate them. Well, I was able to get 29 tomatoes planted today.